What's going on, you guys? What you guys said, another one take review. It's your boy Big Dog back with a review for Castle Rock Season 2, Episode 5, The Laughing Place. This episode pretty much gives you the entire backstory of Annie Wilkes, which I thought this was a really well done episode because I think it pretty much like shows everything we've been wanting to see, like who's the person she was running from and all of that, because we end up finding out like she's not necessarily she's not physically running from someone. It's like a mental thing where she just running, trying to like, not trying to stay in one place at one time. And like because we found out she like Anne had some mental issues as a kid. Also, she wasn't the best reader, so in school, like she got picked on for not being able to like read very well, which is you look at it, you kind of like, kids would they just picked on people. You know what I'm saying? You don't know how to do something. Our kids just tend to pick on you, and her parents didn't think like, hey, that's not the thing. You know, you can't just talk about my child. I'm gonna defend my child. Like you could just letting kids like belittle my kid. You know, and so. But I did think when she told when the girl said, you can't even read this off my hand, she said, ouch, my face. She's like, what are you talking about, retard? And she hit her with the lunchbox. Thought it was hilarious, okay? Thought it was hilarious. But overall, we see where the child comes. We see the joy uh, isn't actually Joy. Oh my, can't think of Joy's actual real name at the current moment. But Joy's not actually Anne's kid. But that's where things got like pretty weird, because she grew up reading the stuff her dad wrote, and but one of Anne's biggest issues is that she always thought linear about stuff. She always thought like, hey, this is the she had a singular mindset. I won't say linear at first, but like she got a singular mindset. Like if you're bad, you're bad. You don't deserve anything good to happen to you. And if you're good, you know what I'm saying, you're good. That's just what it is. And so when she thought about people in those regards, the stuff that happened with uh her tutor, basically, that's when you kind of like things get kind of weird, because first of all, she had like a traumatic experience as a child. For one, she for past what 14 years or so or something like that, might not be quite a few years, like she was taken out of school so she didn't get to interact with the other kids coming up, and like she was only self-taught by like her father, and then they finally bring in the tutor, and you see things immediately start to get better. Her mother and father don't have the best relationship, but they try to like hide it from her, like they basically protected her from the world. Things aren't just going great whatsoever at all. And then you have the moments where her father is teaching her one thing and her mother is telling her like it's so much more than that. And then you overall they end up separating, and you knew once I found out the tutor was pregnant, uh, I pretty much knew like, oh, okay, her dad got her pregnant. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, this is clear and blatantly obvious. I'm like, and at that point I knew, I'm like, that's that kid is Joy is not hers. Joy is clearly her sister, um, and she just wants to protect her from the world, which she gotta feel like for the most part she was protected from the world. But once it's like, hey, things are different, and like she snaps, like she pretty much breaks. Anne's breaking point is pretty much when she finds out like her father dedicated his book to Rita. It's like, oh, that's her name, Rita. Uh, once he dedicated his book to Rita, and like that was his laughing place. They always thought like, hey, the laughing place is like that one thing. It's not. It's the person that it's the thing that brings the person the most joy. And it's like, wow, you actually that's what you dedicated it to. Like this pretty much like messed up our whole family. You know what I'm saying? Like mom basically killed herself because her mom, all of them I think had some issues. Her mom had the like issue of like, okay, there's no way I can solve what's going on with my daughter. So you know what? I'm gonna take both of us out. It was just, I was, and like that had to be traumatic. And then the more stuff you start finding out, like, oh, this is what happened with their relationship. This guy he cheated on me with this person who was brought in to help me. Uh, it's just all of it signified bad things. And once she confronted about them, she pushed them, and it just like a stroke of just horrible luck, she ends up killing her freaking dad. And then at that point, Rita walks in, sees it. She's like, well, this is her fault. So let me stab her. She stabbed her because Anne has a history of violence. You know, you could tell as a kid when she hit the girl with the lunchbox. She's like, oh, this is her third incident, and I think she ever since then she kind of like been protected. Like she has a certain way she like things organized, and some way things just operated. It just led to a lot of bad things, a lot of things going wrong. As she did, I thought she was actually gonna kill the baby, but she saw like, hey, this can be like my laughing place, you know? And I think that's how she felt with Joy, who formerly known as Evangeline. But all while this is going on, she had this conversation with Joy. She wanted to tell Joy exactly what happened. But now it's kind of to the point like, you want to tell her the truth, but like the truth is really, really messed up. Like, I don't know whose side Joy was taking, because I don't think Joy would take a side on this. It's like, you know, even though all this stuff happened, and like she does have a very, very good like story to tell. It's like, what does Joy think about this? Like, hey, you're not really my mother, you're just my sister. You're my older sister. Like, what are you doing? Like, you took me away from my real mother. Like, your real mother broke up my family. Like, but she also, like, it's so complicated. This is just like a real element to it. Like, just like real stuff like this could have really happened. And so then you forget the freaky the freaky shit. You know what I'm saying? Element is when Anne is sitting at the bar. Ace walks up behind her. Is Ace gonna take her in? Like, what is Ace's mission? Like, it's a lot to be had. Not only that, Joy, aka Evangeline, ends up calling her real mother and like, hey, did you know the story of the ravaging, the ravening? I forgot what the book was called. It was just a weird title. She's like, who is this? And I'm pretty sure she's gonna have a conversation and tell her like, hey, I'm so-and-so, I'm with Anne Wilkes. It's like, oh shit, that's my daughter. Like, how do I get my daughter? It's like, and then this in Castle Rock, does she come to Castle Rock and she ends up getting killed, joining up with Ace now, does Ace kill Anne and Anne join with them? Like, it's so much stuff to go on. You have no idea where it's headed, but the backstory is perfect. Like, not perfect in like a good way, but like perfect as in like a storytelling standpoint. It's just like, wow, this is because like it was tragic. The only way you can put it about Anne's backstory is just simply tragic. But like what it does moving forward is great, like absolutely great. And I mean, if you say you're not looking forward to what's about to happen, you're lying. Like this episode, I think this might have been the best episode of the season. I thought this season has been great so far. But like just the whole backstory was kind of, you didn't know exactly what was going on. Now that you do, it's like opens up so many more questions. But like you don't know where things are headed. And I think the mystery of that is like probably the best element. But you guys let me know what you thought about that in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to my channel. I'll catch up with you guys later.